Hey, today doing some work on the 1986 Nissan 300ZX Turbo. A couple things I want to do to it. I want to change the turbocharger and put the biggest turbo I have on there, the GT3582. And I'm going to put that on the VG30 and show you how I did it. And I'm going to use the stock exhaust manifold. And pretty much, I don't have the stock turbocharger on there now. I have a TO4E. As you can see, this is the TO4E turbocharger I have on the stock exhaust manifold right now. And as you can see, the oil line goes here, and it goes into the side of the block, and that's where the oil line goes. And if you have a stock turbocharger, most likely you can use the same oil in and return lines, as long as you don't break them when you take them off. If not, you can get a universal oil line and then just go to the hardware store, get a little fitting that fits inside the block if your factory oil line does not work. But this is the factory exhaust manifold. I take those 4 bolts off and remove the TO4E. I'm going to put on a GT35. Well, here's the engine out of the car, so you can actually work on it comfortably. This is where, here's the crossover tube back here, the very back of the engine, the crossover tube. That's where I put the external wastegate. Made a hole here, welded a pipe, joined it to an external wastegate, and that's the external wastegate right there. It goes on the crossover tube and goes over to the passenger side of the engine, because the turbo's on the driver's side, so I have the wastegate on the passenger side for kind of a balance, because the wastegate's right in the middle of the crossover tube towards the right side. And the turbo is on the left hand side. That's a TO4E turbocharger. Also, while I have the engine out, I'm going to put a new clutch in. Figure why not? It's easy right now with the engine out. Here's the whole engine, right off the engine cherry picker. Since I'm going to go a whole different turbocharger, that's going to change what intake I run and everything like that. And as you noticed, on the factory turbo, they run a tube and go to the mass airflow sensor. Well, I don't run the mass airflow sensor in front of the turbocharger. I run it right where the throttle body of the engine is. That's where I put my mass airflow sensor. Now here's the engine bay with the engine out. Yep. So I'm going to start working on changing the turbocharger and show you how I do it. More to follow.